What's an 80-20 thing?
Where 80% of women are attracted to 20% of men.
80% of women are attracted to 20% of men.
She's pretending like I'm part of one of those truth groups.
What truth groups?
It's a call to action by the manosphere.
Manosphere.
I told you so. For everyone in the comment section saying, it's just a movie, when we break down films from a red pill perspective, wake up. It's not just a movie. It's not just a movie. Art imitates life. And through art, people shape your thoughts, influence your feelings, and redefine your values. If you can't see that, you are asleep. Take your red pill vitamins and start paying attention.
Hey, this dude said, take your red pill vitamins and start paying attention. Those ain't even red pills. I'm pretty sure those are Myconites. I know a Myconite when I see a Myconite. But anyways, this is why we're here, just so you guys know. This guy is going to give his 2 cents on Adolescence, the show. And it is very interesting. Very interesting.
That's why we're here. And that's why you've been flooding us with messages to review this miniseries, Adolescence, because you know this needs a real breakdown. Not some content farmer nodding for 15 minutes, adding no value, and even worse, diluting the message.
I feel like this is a personal attack. Now, I wasn't nodding for 15 minutes, but my video was about 15 minutes, and it was on Adolescence. I feel like this is a personal shot. I feel like he actually saw my video and he made this about me, but I could be centering myself. I don't know.
What do you think happens when people watch this for the first time?
It's a call to action by the manosphere.
They wake up. A lot of parents, a lot of parents didn't know that, you know, like what had happened to their children. They, you know, they don't know that this is happening. So a lot of parents were alerted to the pitfalls that exist, especially on in the content that their kids consume. For an example, I would think it was something like this. Now, she had already done this with her son, but you know, this is similar to what I think is happening.
So I've made some videos talking about how I successfully de-pilled my red-pilled son, and this is one of the questions that came up, and it's so obvious, I can't believe I didn't think of it, so thanks for asking. Basically, we were just having a normal conversation, and he said to me, well, women are gold diggers anyway. And I said, what women? And he said, just women in general. And I said, well, name one woman in our life that is a gold digger. And he said, well, I don't know any. Like, that's not the point, it's just women in general. I was like, well, it's not just women in general because you don't know any of them, so like that's shouldn't be something that you've bought into when you've seen actually no proof of it. You've literally never experienced this in your entire life. And he was like, yeah, well, you know, it was said on this. And then he showed me the video and I was like, do those men look like they've got gold to dig? And he kind of sat with that for a minute. And then he was like, well, it's not the point though, is it? I says, the point is, mate, a lot of men who have got money don't mind spending money on their partner, the woman that they love, because it makes her look and feel good, right? The only people who begrudge women who want to have money spent on them is men who don't have money, but still want that woman. They want her to drop their standards for him, even though he can't provide the lifestyle she wants and expects. And then he gets mad at her for it, for expecting money, but it's just a lifestyle choice at the end of the day. And like, you know full well that women aren't doing that en masse, because otherwise nobody would be in a relationship in my area. I live in a low income area. It's like poverty stricken. Do you know what I mean? And like a lot of the men are in relationships, even though they don't earn more than minimum wage. You know what I mean? So basically that's how the conversation started, but I kind of can't like keep going with the video because my dinner is done.
That's what I think it looked like. Something similar to that. This is what I think it was doing. I think it was, you know, it was making people pay a little bit more attention to the things that their sons are saying and a little bit more attention to the rhetoric that's being espoused online.
Manosphere.
They're going to look it up online, and the first thing they'll find, a flood of websites, including Wikipedia, framing the manosphere as nothing more than a breeding ground for misogyny.
That's exactly what it is. The manosphere is a very group of online communities that includes men's rights activists, MRAs, incels, and voluntary celibates, men going their own way, pickup artists, and fathers' rights groups. Some groups within the manosphere have adversarial relationships with one another. But that's what the manosphere is. It is definitely exactly described as that.
Then they'll head to YouTube, and what will they see? An endless stream of women hitting the wall videos, out of context, reaction clips, and content designed for clicks rather than real discussion. And just like that, the message gets distorted. The real conversations about masculinity, self-improvement, and the struggles men face get buried under the pile of clickbait and misrepresentation. That's why context matters. It's why we break down media like this. Because if we don't, they will control the narrative for us. Remember, guys, this is a conversation. You don't have to agree with everything we present in our videos. The point is to think for yourself and sharpen your critical thinking.
He's not a critical thinker. If you can't be a red pillar and a critical thinker. But everything he's saying that this is what, like, he does this is what they do, is what red pillars do. They do the complete opposite of what he's saying.
That's what the red pill is about.
No, it's not.
Now let's get into it. Quick note, to give you the best experience without copyright interruptions, our full uncut content is available on Patreon. So if you enjoy our content and want the full experience, support us on Patreon. Patreon gang, salute! Spoiler alert! This video contains spoilers, so you've been warned. Now it's time for us to get into this and do what we gotta do. Because we many.
What? Wait, I'm sorry. That was crazy. I'm proud to be a man. Shit. This. Oh, I'm so glad I found this page. This guy's gold.
Before we break down the message, let's talk.
Why are you proud to be a man? Just out of curiosity, why are you proud to be a man? I know you can't answer the question, but just what made you say that? Why are you proud to be a man? It's weird.
About the filmmaking. Normally we don't do this, but credit where credit is due. Adolescence is shot beautifully. Everything is done in a single take, pulling you in and making you feel like you're right there. There's no cutting away, no distractions, just raw, unfiltered storytelling. Even the ride to the police station, a full 4 minutes, feels real because it's not chopped up or rushed. The casting, spot on. These aren't Hollywood stereotypes. They look like real people, which makes everything feel even more authentic. And let's be honest, the story itself is gripping, is believable, and it keeps you hooked. All right, movie talk over. Let's get to the meat and potatoes.
A call to action by the manosphere. Jesus Christ.
You've seen what she wrote.
I have. Okay.
Looks like she'd be a nice, right?
Isn't she?
The dynamite. What do you think that means?
I don't know.
It's an exploding red pill. Pills, the blue pills means you see the world as it wants you to.
That's from the
Red pills
Matrix. You've been watching the Matrix.
What?
Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry. Carry on.
Matrix.
Carry on.
Red pill is like, I see the truth. It's a call to action by the manosphere.
Manosphere.
A call to action by the manosphere. Exactly. The red pill isn't just about awareness. It's about doing something with that awareness. But here's the question. What action? For some men, the action is self-improvement. Hitting the gym, making money, gaining status, and becoming the best version of themselves.
That does not equate any. And I'm see, there's the thing about the red pill, right? About red pill. So we do not need a whole movement. Like, really think about it. There is no need to have a whole movement based around the idea of men going to the gym and making more money. We don't need that. And then masking it as a as a vehicle to self-improvement, real, true self-improvement, the inner self. Nothing about that has to do with you improving who you are as a person. He even said it in there, improving your status, which in some ways would benefit you, right? It could benefit you, but it doesn't not working on yourself internally and improving yourself externally will almost always lead to your demise. Almost always. You become rich and famous, but you're not whole and healed on the inside. Self-destruction is for sure to happen. We see it time and time and time again, right? So basically, you're setting men up for failure thinking like this. Why would this need to be a movement? There's no, I thought we were supposed to be using our brains and critically thinking, critically thinking from a critical thinking standpoint. This is unhealthy and toxic in and of itself. The way you just described it is unhealthy and toxic right off the bat.
For others, it's avoidance, walking away from relationships entirely, or rejecting traditional dating norms. And for others, it's activism, fighting for men's rights, calling out double standards, or influencing younger men through content creation. But here's the truth. You're not supposed to stay in red pill rage. How many women hitting the wall videos did you watch this week? Let's take it a step further.
I can agree with that at least. And he realizes that there is a rage connected to the red pill. But let's keep going.
Which is where the 100 comes in, the 80 to 20 rule.
Adam, listen, my brain can't take all this. I don't know what you're talking about. Just break it down.
80% of women are attracted to 20% of men. Woman, you must trick them because you'll never get them in a normal way. 80% of women are cut off for, she's saying he's an incel, Dad.
He's 13. How can you be involuntary celibate at 13?
I know.
Who isn't celibate at 13? Huh?
She's saying anyways, Obi. That's what they say, you're an incel. You're going to be, I don't know, a virgin forever, basically. And all those people have heard, which means they're agreeing with her.
Okay. So this is bullying. I mean, it's a bit of a stretch, but...
Don't believe me then, Dad.
No, I'm not saying I don't believe you.
This is pure gold. All right, let's start here. Women, you must trick them because you'll never get them in a normal way.
And before he goes into it, what he just said, by the way, would play into this. You want to get with women, right? Instead of you being a genuine person and developing your character so that you can attract a woman, you instead go to the gym, external, and make a lot of money, external. So you have to trick them because you're not really that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not actually a cool person or a person worth being with. Once you get past the veil, the veil, the veneer, there's really nothing beneath that, right? Nothing beneath the surface. But that's what I'm saying. Is he's going to try to act like that's not what that is what you just described. That's what you just said the red pill was.
Partially true. You do not have to trick women. You shouldn't. That's
No, he said you have to trick women. That's what the red pill espouses.
Short-term, low-value strategy that will only hurt you in the long run. But here's the reality. Getting with modern women in a quote-unquote normal way is increasingly difficult. The 80-20 rule has shifted. It's more like 90-10 now. And it's because of
they're becoming more extreme.
Social media. Adam tells his detective father that the crime is influenced by Instagram. We made this must-watch video of an average-looking 15-year-old girl getting hundreds of guys in her DMs. What do you think this does to her psyche?
She just laughed and said,
So instead of you talking to the men, I'm saying if you actually cared, and saying, hey, man, how about you not be so thirsty and hit up a fucking 15-year-old and slide in her DMs, you're saying, what does this do to her psyche? What does it do to her psyche? I just want you guys to know. Women get this 15-year-old girl gets honked at all the time by grown adult men, and she gets hit on all the time at school. She doesn't need DMs for this. She doesn't need social media for this. Just FYI. And I'm not saying that people don't want attention on social media. I'm just saying that women have historically been getting this attention.
She just laughed and said, "Oh, I'm not that desperate."
And the emoji messages came after that.
Yeah.
She laughed. Now let's show you how this plays out in real life.
Just thought I would say you're perfect. Like, holy, you're super pretty and seem to have great vibes. So if you get this, I really like. How would someone like myself go about getting the attention of a girl as pretty as you? Hey, you so pretty. Not with an R, with a W. Honestly, you are very attractive and looks super kind. Hope you have a good day. But I just want to say you're amazingly attractive. Oh, I'm amazingly attractive? Yo, I saw you on my For You page and thought you was mad pretty. What is up with guys saying mad? Like, I just don't... Mad pretty. Mad.
You see? Hundreds of guys in her DMs. She sees it as a joke until this happens.
I personally have been cheated on. Granted, I was in a situation, it was a situation specifically where I was with somebody that I did not really like. I think I was in it for the wrong reasons. He was someone that I was really attracted to. I was just getting started on Instagram. He had 11,000 followers at the time. And I was like, whoa, like this guy's legit. And he was just a total bodybuilding bro. OG subscribers might actually remember him. I'm not going to say his name because I don't even want to give him the time of day.
This proves the point. Normal isn't good enough anymore. Take a look at this graph. Only 15.21% have 10K to 50K followers. Having 10K followers is not normal. We made a video about Harry Sisson, a guy who isn't a Chad, but practically is because he has almost 2 million followers on TikTok. And guess what? Women follow success.
I'm going to try to get through this without crying.
I knew that this guy was a player. We started talking.
Are you guys lost at this? Like, what the fuck is he talking about? What the fuck what are you talking about, bro? I don't even understand. Like, I'm lost. So basically based on what the movie was saying, the movie was just saying, it was bringing up, to reference normal, women or men or whatever now. And then you brought up this 15-year-old girl who made a video and a bunch of weird dudes slid in her DMs, which seems like a problem of men. And then you brought up a girl who said that this dude had like 10,000 followers, 11,000 followers on Instagram. I don't know what's the relevancy of that, but it seems like she was just saying like he was like, legit. What he did was legit. Not like, I don't know how to put it. Like it didn't seem like that necessarily excited her. It just seemed like it was like a safety thing. Like, oh, he's legit. Like he does what he says he does. You know what I mean? Like to me, that's what I got from it. Because a lot of times with women and men, it's men trying to convince women or show women that we're safe spaces. And that could be a way of doing that. Like if a man says that he does X, Y, and Z, and then she sees his public, platform and it's successful, then she's, more likely to believe him about other stuff. Like, oh, he's legit. That's what I got from it. I didn't get like, she was like, oh, he's hot shit. Like 11,000 followers. I know that's a lot for Instagram, I guess. But like, I don't think like that's the thing that like turned her on. That's all I'm saying.
2 years ago.
If he had flat told us, hey, I am talking to other people. When we asked, when all like a fucking dozen of us asked, hey, are you talking to anybody? Instead, he lied and said he did not have a roster and that he was not talking to anybody.
So if average women are getting attention from high status men, what happens when a guy with 200 followers approaches them?
Why? Why does it matter? I'm very confused by this. Why are we acting like men are entitled to access of women? Men are entitled to having access to women simply for existing. Fuck followers aside, but like, it's like, oh, what does she do when she meets a dude with 200 followers? Maybe ignore him. I don't fucking know. Depends on what he says in the thing. If he slides in her DMs and he's charismatic enough and he's original enough, maybe he gets her attention. But if your assumption is it doesn't matter what he says in the DMs, she's going to ignore him because he only has 200 followers, you have no proof that that is what's happening right now. Just so you know, you have no proof that that's what's happening.
She just laughed and said, oh, I'm not that desperate.
Exactly.
What do the kidney beans mean? They're kidney beans, right?
She's pretending like I'm part of one of those truth groups.
What truth groups?
Ones that say that women don't want us, we don't care.
Are you part of those?
No.
But you know what they say?
Yeah, because everyone kept on going on about with incel stuff, so I had a look, but I didn't like it.
And was you being an incel what she was saying with all of these?
Yeah.
Back in the day, incels were called TFLers, true forced loneliness. That term was harder to weaponize, so it didn't carry the same stigma. Now, incel has been twisted into an insult, a way to shame men.
You one-eyed incel, dweeb, I swear to God, I'll kill you!
Who is your market?
Lonely people, virgins, incels.
This isn't new. Men have always been shamed for struggling with women, but today it's weaponized.
There's a reason why, in general, men struggle with women, though, and that's why they're shamed. Because it's really not hard to get with women, right? It's really not. Like I want to be clear. I don't mean that women are easy. I'm just saying that humans desire connection. Most humans desire a connection, and the quote unquote there's somebody for everybody thing kind of is real and not at the same time. Don't get me wrong. I know it's not really for real, but just hear me out. What I'm saying is that if you are in a space like school and there's 1,000 people that go to your school, 500 men, 500 women, or 520 men and 480 women, let's say, right? Make it a little bit more men. Okay. Not some of those men and women are going to be gay. Some of those men and women may be asexual. Some of those men and women aren't interested. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But there is enough men and women, or boys and girls, whatever age we're talking about, that are interested in having a relationship, right? You just have to, find your person. Now, the reason why involuntary celibates are involuntarily celibate is almost always related to how they treat women. That is why it is so easy to shame an incel, because the reason why you're celibate or involuntarily celibate is because of how you view women. Is because of how you view women. Now, subtracting disabilities and things of the sort, right? Subtract those people from it, mental issues, whatever, right? Let's just talk about neurotypical people, average people. So average man, 5'9", 5'10", of average intelligence, of average body weight, of average, right? If you are of average physical stature, mental stature, economic stature, so on and so forth, it is fucking easy for you to find a mate, a partner, a woman, whatever. But incels struggle because of how they treat women. And women know that because they deal with incels. Like in this show, that kid that was an incel did problematic shit to women. He did problematic stuff to girls. And this is what I try to tell men all the time. Women can sniff that shit out a mile away, man. Like that stench of incel, of, because those are like the most extreme versions of misogynist. That version of incel I mean, that version of misogynistic man, women smell that shit often a mile away. A mile away. And with the internet, it's getting easier and easier for women to clock it. So really, at the end of the day, men need to take accountability for, and boys, right, whatever, we need to take accountability for the fact that we don't treat women the way that women and girls want to be treated. And then they are, and because of that, they are rejecting us. That is what this is all about.
It's not just teasing anymore. It's demonization.
We got all that Instagram stuff wrong.
What do you mean?
Katie was bullying Jamie.
Oh no.
That's what it was.
Like, he's acting like being an incel in and of itself isn't a choice. You choose to be an incel too, to be honest with you. I know it's like oxymoron, but you choose not to grow and you choose not to change and you choose not to develop yourself, which further perpetuates you being an incel. So you are literally making that choice. Like, you can easily not be an incel by unpacking your trauma, unpacking your misogyny. But you're choosing to go deeper into it and to retreat further into the murk, into the murkiness, into the dark. That's a choice. That's your bad.
Incel stuff, you know what that is.
Yeah, I do.
No, I don't know what that is. What is it?
It's the involuntary celibate stuff. It's the Andrew Tate shite.
Oh,
Fucking hell.
I've heard the boys talking about him.
See that? Any man who speaks up is instantly labeled dangerous, misogynistic, or a failure. But shaming men for struggling doesn't fix the struggle. If you tell a starving man he's pathetic for being hungry, does that feed him? No. That's why so many men check out. They either withdraw completely, lash out in...
Only half of single men are actively seeking relationships or even casual dates, according to Pew. That figure is declining. Yeah, men, whatever women are doing, it's working. Whatever women are doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, women just rejecting men, like wholesale rejecting men, it's working. And then you couple, you know, the extreme misogyny that exists on the internet and all the lies that they tell about women. That's a big, huge part of why men are running away from women. Men are really, I'm joking by the way, but men are the ones that are keeping men single. It's men that are keeping men single. It's like these types of videos that are keeping men single.
Frustration, or find ways to adapt, sometimes in unhealthy ways. And that brings us to the bigger question. Why are so many young men searching for guidance in the first place?
Because their father figures and their male figures they themselves are lost. And they are dealing with a reality in which it seems that no man has an answer to, right? That's one big part of, we're talking about boys. As you get older, what men like is they fear what it's like to become a whole human being. They fear what it's like to actually view women as human beings. They fear what it's like to be vulnerable. They fear what it's like to grow. They fear what it's like to be a better person. And so and then you have other men like this guy going around telling them, there, buddy, you're okay. Think about it. If you guys have ever seen the movie Higher Learning, it's kind of like when Remy met the KKK dudes that came and ultimately like indoctrinated him. Like, Remy was at a low point. He was dejected. He was a ribbon in the wind. He didn't know which way to blow. And right when he was at his lowest, here come these dudes and they offer him friendship and companionship. And they recruited him. And that's what the manosphere does. That's what the red pill ideology does. It takes a vulnerable moment. That's all it takes. And it weaponizes it. And it latches onto that and it attaches to it. And it doesn't let go. And it's up to the man to detach it. Right? But a lot of men just want to stay in it because it gives them comfort and solace. And it also reinforces everything that we were taught in our history books, everything that we were taught in you know, in media, all the media that we consume and so on and so forth, it reinforces all of those ideals. So it's comfortable. It's not my fault. It's the women's fault. Women are incorrigible. They're all skanks. They're all gold diggers, like that woman said, right? It's easy to write a woman off. Women only want 20% of men. No, not 20%. Women only want 10% of men. So what can I ever do about it? Fucking skanks. Hate them. Da 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 da. Right? Like that's how it ends up playing out. That's a problem. That's when they get the men. That's how they get the men.
Because the institutions that were supposed to provide it have failed them. Take school, for example. Boys aren't listening in class, but they're listening to Andrew Tate. Why? Because school doesn't speak to them. It's outdated, uninspiring, and designed for a world that no longer exists.
How's education designed for getting educated? Designed not for a world that doesn't exist. Like, what are you talking about? Get an education.
I've been reading your school reports, right? Yeah. Jamie was a good student, yeah? Would we like to talk out here? Yeah. I want to know, is there any signs of unhappiness?
I'm just a tutor. You know,
well, you're a teacher.
Yeah, but I teach history. I don't see him, you know. I wouldn't know, you know. Look, man, these kids are impossible. I mean, what am I supposed to do?
Do you know what? I can't stand this place.
We're only here because you wanted to come, mate.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, does it look like anyone's learning anything in there to you? It just looks like a holding pen. Videos in every class. Mr. Malik just walking in and out when he wants. And you said it smells.
You know, just stink. All skills stink.
The old formula, go to school, get a degree, work a stable job for 30, 40 years, and retire comfortably, is dead. Today, Gen Z's average job tenure is just 2 years and 2 months. Men are dropping out of the workforce in record numbers.
This is a problem of capitalism. This is a problem of capitalism. I'll repeat it. This is a problem of capitalism. And yeah, we should address this as men. But telling men to go to the gym and just make more money and not telling them to work on themselves and get an education is not the solution.
And why? Because social status now matters more than ever. This is a classic case of good times creating weak people, and weak people struggling when the system they were promised collapses. With everything available at the push of a button, attention spans are shot. Motivation to grind through unrewarding tasks, gone. Yet, instead of addressing this crisis, schools ignore male struggles. They punish masculine traits and shame boys for looking elsewhere for answers.
Can you be specific as to what masculine traits you're speaking about? Because maybe some of them deserve to be shamed.
So what happens? They go where they feel heard. And that's exactly why Tate and the manosphere exploded in popularity. But instead of fixing the system, the response is the same as always: shame and blame. Where's the school curriculum teaching young men how to be disciplined, how to build confidence, how to handle rejection?
Where's the school curriculum teaching little girls that? Why do little boys need that curriculum? The little girl, like, why are little girls not doing that? You know, why are little girls not struggling with rejection? The little boys are. Why are little girls focusing on on school, but little boys aren't? Like, talk about that.
How to lead, how to be a man.
What do you mean? Men, boys need to learn how to do math. They need to learn how to read. They need to learn how to write, articulate themselves. They need to learn the sciences. That's what they need to learn, bro. They need to learn how to be a man. You can't be anybody if you don't know how to freaking read.
Doesn't exist. They'll lecture young men about toxic masculinity, but won't teach them healthy masculinity. And
there's no such thing as healthy masculinity.
That's why they're listening to Tate, not their teachers.
Andrew Tate.
The system fails young men, then condemns them for seeking guidance elsewhere. And that's the real problem.
I agree. The system is not geared to help anybody, boys or girls, right? And yeah, boys slip through the cracks sometimes, but honestly, that again, that is a systemic failure of capitalism. And then on the back end, it's the parents too. The parents need to be locked in a little bit more too, or a lot more.
And that brings us back to the call to action. The real red pill isn't about sitting around complaining. It's about understanding the game so you can win. If you elevate yourself, the game changes. Because let's be real, women are women first, and attraction is not a choice.
You know what's crazy about this? So he made this long ass video. What did he actually say? What did he actually teach? What did you learn? Did you learn anything new? Like, what did he teach? Like he took all this time, do this nicely edited video, right? Voice overs, he thought it through, but no substance, nothing. He didn't teach you anything.
Women will always gravitate towards success, whether you like it or not.
Decenter women, and I don't like saying decenter women, but women shouldn't be the reason why you want to get educated or make money or go to the gym. You should want to do all those things for yourself. Stop doing it for the attention of women. All of this came down to the attention of women. We're talking about late stage capitalism failing, and he's talking about fucking little boys and men getting with women. Like,
so the question is, are you gonna take action or just sit there? This one is for you fathers out there.
Yeah, I'm on it, bro. Don't worry about me. I got it. But the fathers definitely need to do better and step up and teach their sons the reality, of what's going on. I talk to my son about capitalism. I talk to my son about misogyny. I talk to my son about the systems of oppression. My son, right now, if I brought him up here, my son was talking the other day. He was saying, I wish everybody, yesterday, he was like, we were eating lunch, and he was like, I wish everybody had somewhere to stay and everybody had everything that they needed. That's what my son told me. I'm 9 years old. Just unprovoked. We were just talking. He just brought it up in a conversation. And I was like, oh yeah, that's communism. And he was like, oh, what's that? And I said, oh, it's this, I walked him down and brought it down to his terms or whatever. But I walked him down what communism was, and I talked about the system that we have, and I was predatory and all that stuff. And he was like, oh yeah, okay, this system is bad. That's a better system, right? But you yourself have to be educated, man, and you yourself have to not be a piece of shit. You cannot raise a boy to not be a piece of shit if you yourself are a piece of shit. You cannot raise a boy to be educated if you yourself are not educated or undereducated. So it starts with you as a father. And as a man, as a human being, educate yourself. Educate yourself, educate yourself.